Okay, well, welcome to week 6 asynchronous session for English 9B. Today we're talking about revision. This week we're going to be focusing on a revision project. So my objective, obviously, is to make you love revision, my ultimate goal, but also so that you'll be able to evaluate the draft for use of ideas and content, organization, voice, word choice, and sentence fluency. So we're going to talk today about what revision is, and what the steps are to a revision. We're going to focus on the differences between being an editor and revising your work. And then we're going to talk about Project 6 and how you will implement the revision steps into that process for project number 6. So let's start with this idea of this idea of revision. My question to you is, what does that mean to you? A lot of students tell me, I write my essay all in one go, I don't revise it, it's totally done, there's nothing I can do to it. And I'm here to tell you that that is not true. That revision, there's always a place for revision. Writers revise and revise and revise all the time. So sitting down and writing your essay in one sitting and submitting it is not a very good idea. Revision is the idea of evaluating, revisiting, editing, and updating an essay. I know some students want to just be done with it, but you will find the process more enjoyable if you follow specific steps to the revision process that will help you be successful on the essay. You will get a better grade on the essay. You'll be more pleased with the outcome in the essay itself if you take the time to revise. So, think about how you can change your revision habits if you don't revise in the way that I'm going to teach you to today, or if you don't revise at all, what can you do to implement these steps? So let's take a look at what those steps are for revision. Let's take a look at these revision steps. These are just some examples of things you can do for revision steps. I encourage you to utilize them and use them in this process. Now, for Project 6, we're going to go over it in more detail at the end of the lesson, but for Project 6, you're going back to the essay that you wrote in lesson number 1, and you're going to be revising that essay and those ideas. So the first step you've already done, because it's to take some time away from the essay. Normally, I would suggest if you're writing the essay in the same unit to take a day, a few hours, but don't edit it or revise it right away. Take some time away from it. This one is easy for Unit 6 because you've been away from this essay for 5 weeks. So you've definitely had time away from it. So check that one off. You've already completed revision step number 1. The second step is to think about the larger issues of the paper. Do you prove or answer your thesis? Do you address all the components of your thesis? Has your thesis changed? So don't just go in thinking, I'm going to just fix the punctuation and the grammar and the spelling and I'm done. We're evaluating and revising for content as well as all of the other issues in the paper. So ask yourself those questions. Check your focus. Are you clear and focused throughout your paper? Do you stay on topic? You don't want to talk about Costa Rica when you're writing about China. And sometimes that happens because we get off on tangents, and if we don't revise and go back and edit revisit our ideas, we can sometimes let them run away with us. Is your introduction a true representation of what your readers can expect from the paper? Are you introducing your subject well? Do your readers know what to expect from that point forward? Is your paper balanced? Do you address each aspect of your argument? So if you brought it up in your introduction and your thesis statement, do you have a section on your paper that is relevant to that thesis? Does the organizational pattern of the paper make sense? Maybe you move paragraph 3 to paragraph 2, or maybe you talk about something that you talk about early in the paper or later in the paper. So you want to make sure that that organizational pattern still makes sense and flows. And last, is your conclusion stimulating and thought-provoking? Throughout our lives, we're told that our conclusions should just restate our thesis. Come up with something that is interesting for your reader. Leave your reader pondering and going, cool, that was interesting. Didn't see that coming. You don't want them to go, oh, okay, there's the thesis again. Oh, that's exactly what they said in the introduction. It shouldn't mirror the introduction. It should be stimulating and thought-provoking. It should leave your reader going, got it. Okay? That is revision steps. That is the definition of revision. You're going to answer some questions about this section of the lesson, and then you're going to move on to the next step. We're going to talk about common revision excuses and common revision mistakes, as well as the differences between editing and revising.